All right, welcome back to the channel. Fight night is here. It's your boy Fanon. And the fight is between Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter. Going to give you the prediction video and let you know what's going to happen in the fight. This one, man, I'm telling you, I'm going out on a limb and I may be wrong, but let's talk about it in this video. Welcome back to the channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button with the bell icon so you can get more videos like this. Also, hit the like button, share video, all that good stuff. Help the channel grow. It would be greatly appreciated. All right, man, we are here, and I am not going to duck the smoke. I have a lot of subscribers and people in the comment section trying to get me to tell you to make a prediction for this fight. So in this video, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to tell you what I do believe is going to happen in this fight between Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter. First things first, Terence Crawford, to me, and I'm going to continue to repeat this, is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. And I do believe that he is somebody that could become an absolute great all-time level fighter. He has that in front of him. He has the fights now right in front of him to allow him to do that. And I do not believe that Shawn Porter is going to stop him on that journey. If anybody's going to stop him on that journey, it is going to be in the most classic welterweight fight that we have seen in a long time, and that is going to be hopefully between Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. So Terence Crawford is coming into this fight with Shawn Porter, and I don't really, I know what he says. I know he says he's past the Errol Spence Jr. fight and all that stuff, but I really believe that Terence Crawford is looking for that Errol Spence Jr. fight and looking to prove to people that he is the best fighter in the world, and to prove his skill set. So I think, especially judging off the weigh-in that took place last night, I think that Terence Crawford is extremely ready for this fight. I think that he's going to have a game plan for Shawn Porter, and I do not believe that game plan is going to be around getting to a decision. Shawn Porter, on the other hand, is also somebody that is I would say that he is a maker of a great fighter. A great fighter for sure in his own right, a very accomplished fighter, in his own way, a very skilled fighter, right? I've gotten some debates with some people on Twitter that said, hey, man, he's a sloppy fighter, this, that, and the other thing. Well, that is a very successful sloppy fighter. He just has a style that works for him that is very difficult to beat. He gets up underneath you. He makes it very difficult for you to counterpunch. And he's a very aggressive fighter when he wants to be, but he can also fight on the back foot. He's very smart, and he's very experienced in situations like this. This is not his first time to the rodeo fighting in a big event against an undefeated fighter for a championship belt. He did that with, I do believe he's the first person to ever beat Danny Garcia. He also, maybe Keith Thurman might have beat Danny Garcia first, but he fought Kell Brook, didn't cross with, didn't get it with Shawn, or lost that fight with Kell Brook, but he was in that situation. Errol Spence Jr., same thing. Top-notch guy in Keith Thurman, right? Just a very experienced fighter. And I think also that because of the amount of time that he has been around Terence Crawford, and because those guys are both the same age, these guys have been there from the amateurs. I think that this is going to be an absolute classic fight. So before I give you the predictions in the title, however, I'm telling you, I think this is going to be an absolute classic war. I think maybe they're going to feel each other out for maybe a round or two, but after that, the pace is really going to pick up. Shawn Porter is going to be pressing Terence Crawford, and he's going to give Terence Crawford, everything that Terence Crawford can handle. But I think as the fight goes on, or when we get into the 10th and 11th round, in my mind's eye, see it playing out a little bit like the Jose Benavidez fight, and I see Shawn Porter getting caught with something that is very big, that really does hurt Shawn Porter, and then leads to the stoppage. Now, some people may ask, well, hey, that he was able to get hit with big shots by Andre Berto, and not by Andre Berto, excuse me, by Adrian Brawner, because Adrian Brawner, even though he was beating Adrian Brawner, right, and beating Adrian Brawner convincingly through that fight, Adrian Brawner caught him, knocked him down, but he got back up. Same thing with Errol Spence Jr. in a very nip and tuck fight, right, where each round was close. I gave a lot of those rounds to Errol Spence because I thought he had the more clean shots in it, but still Errol Spence Jr. was able to catch him and knock him down, but still he got up and he was still able to recover. What would be the difference with Terence Crawford? Well, in the words of Derrick James, and I don't think this is Derrick James, he's the trainer of Errol Spence Jr. I don't think that this is him hating. I do believe that fight with the more fights that you have like that, the more battles that you have like that, the more things kind of take out of you. Things get taken out of you. So the fact that he took that type of beating from Errol Spence Jr. A couple years ago, I think that may lead and may decrease his punch resistance. And also, I think as far as like a one-shot hit, if Terence Crawford can really get off a shot that is going to knock down Terence Crawford, I think that is really gonna buzz him and may hurt him. And so therefore, that's why I think that this fight is more than likely going to be a stoppage for Terence Crawford. I think Terence Crawford is going to lay it on the line to get the knockout. I don't think that he is going to try to consistently outbox Shawn Porter. And so, so that's how I see that going. But in an absolute epic war, man, like one that, one of those fights where you can actually go back and rewatch the fight, right, and sit back and say, man, these guys both took a lot of punishment. Now, after the fight is over, my understanding is that Errol Spence Jr. said for the winner, he's going to get in the ring and he's going to call out the winner for the fight, with whoever wins the fight. Again, I think this is going to be Terence Crawford, so I think it's going to be him pushing the fight, pushing to try to get the fight with Terence Crawford. And if he does that, I believe that since Terence Crawford is a free agent, I think that fight would happen next. But I'm telling you, in that next fight, I don't think there's anything that I'm going to see in this fight that is going to change my mind about what will happen with Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. The only thing that can really gives me any doubt that Errol Spence Jr. can beat Terence Crawford is the fact that he had that car accident and he got that eye injury. So, there's some wear and tear on his body that may give him some ring rust and therefore give the advantage, to Terence Crawford. However, if Terence Crawford is able to knock out Shawn Porter, I'm telling you right now, I don't think anybody should have an argument about this guy being the pound for pound best fighter in the world. He's come up 3 weight classes. He's won multiple. He's been an undisputed champion at 140 pounds. And now he's up at 147 and having gotten a win off of a guy that is a perennial contender and a very, very solid fighter. And I think that the pressure is on Terence Crawford to try to outdo Canelo Alvarez and get Shawn Porter out of there. I think that is definitely a bigger fight and a bigger win and a more difficult opponent for Terence Crawford than Caleb Plant was for Canelo Alvarez. But anyway we go, man, I think we're going to get an excellent fight. I do not typically predict knockouts. However, in this instance, I just think Terence Crawford looks like an animal right now to me, man. Now, Shawn Porter can prove me wrong, and quite honestly, man, I hope that Shawn Porter does prove me wrong. We just get a really, really great fight that goes the distance. We actually get to sit up there and see who's going to get the decision. I hope that there's no funny business in the fight, right, where somebody gets a cut or something and it's stopped in the second round, like what happened with the Julio Cesar Martinez fight last night on DAZN, and then we lead on to greater fights. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section, and with that, I'll see y'all after the fight, or if I call the fight, more than likely I'll call the fight, and we'll holler about whether I was wrong or not. And with that, I'm out. Peace.